start this over and see if we actually have sound here. Very first time doing this. Like I said, I thought it was a cool idea. I seen somebody else doing career mode, and I thought it'd be cool if they did a championship mode like this. But we're starting off today's race at Atlanta, 14th place, AI set at 102, expert mode using custom setups. Like I said, it's pretty tough to get the pole here with them being set that high. But we're in 14th place right now. 10 laps in the first stage. Working away on Almirola. I'm trying to get to the bottom. My cars are really tight right now, so I'm trying to get through the first stage to make an adjustment. Custom setup is not what I want it to be. As you can see, I go all the way up to the wall. I lose a lot of track position. Boyer, I almost take him out. Really, really sketchy. As I make up my mind to try to be a little patient back here and back my corner up since I'm tight right now, and got everything on 3 times wear, so the computer, let's see if their tires fall off as fast as ours. Right now Kyle Busch has a commanding lead out front of lap 3 of stage 1. I'm hoping you guys can actually hear me now. I tried this once, the commentary wasn't working, I had to take that link down, but 15th place still. Like I said, these guys are really, really tough to pass to AI when you got them set up high like that, which is only fun way for me to do it is I'm working my way underneath Tyler Reddick, kind of get loose off. Still working our way under Tyler Reddick right there, coming off of 3. You see that yellow line is everything in Atlanta. I will give you guys the setup at the end of the race. It's only a 40-lap race, and this setup will probably do 29 ones. You might be able to tweak it and get it faster. That's about all I could get out of it was 2s doing the esports yesterday, but it did hold up for this whole 3 times 40-lap league race, so it might be a good league race setup. But as you see, I'm underneath Busher now, and I'm making a big move on Truex as the tires are starting to wear a little bit. Look behind us as they fall in line on lap 5. Working our way up on Harvick and Boyer now. And then we got Chase Elliott in the 38 of David Reagan, which they kind of slow up there and lead the hole. It's going to be 3 wide. Make almost contact there. Boyer gets up underneath and gets a big run. As I almost make a little contact with him. Worked our way up to 9th with 4 to go in the stage. I think right now I'm going to be content just following in Boyer's tracks and drafting my way up to the front. As Kyle Busch is still in the lead. As you can hear them shocks here at Atlanta. Really, I'm going to go on board 1 lap so you guys can see how rough this track is. You can hear them shocks. Again, you want to have a really, really, really hard shock package here because of the bumps in the track. But down there at the bottom again, kind of just drafting off Boyer to see if we can get up there and to the top 5, top 7. Worth us a little bit of a lead over 10th. As tires, like I said, 3 times wear, it does not take long for your tires to fall off. But now I'm still hanging in here with Boyer, pushing him down the back stretch, and I think he's holding me up a little bit, but I'm trying to be patient. I don't want to make enemies, but trying to run it clean as I can, custom setup as hard as I can, as realistic as I can. That's the way I like racing, and so I'm not just going there, just taking him out, really smooth on the throttle. Still having trouble with tightness, though. Want to make an adjustment when we get to the pit road here. It's something I'll go over when I go over the setup here. You probably have to loosen it up a little bit for a league race. For a 6-7 lap run, it's good the way it's at. For a league race, I'd loosen it up a little. But we're on lap 10 of 42 here, almost to the end of stage 1. Trying to get every point we can because it's going to be a long championship season. We won race 1 at Daytona, which I did not broadcast, but I am going to improve the setup for Daytona, which is a really top-notch setup for Daytona in this video, since I did not air race 1 of the season. We're stuck right now behind the 41 as we think we're coming to the last lap of the stage, and we do. We finished with the 8th place in stage 1 finish, so we'll get a little bit of points there. If you're happy about that, you know, a little bit of points is nothing, but this is where we get to come in and make a few adjustments on the car. And what I did was go up a couple clicks on my right front because it was really tight on exit. And so I went, it was at 50, I went up to 51.25, and then I actually went down on my wedge 1 because it was too tight on entry. So let's see how that works out here in stage 2 as well. Lap 13 of 42, worked our way up to 9th position besides Kevin Harvick, and we got Alex Bowman in the 14 of Clint Boyer ahead of us. First time we've really seen some of these guys up in front because they had really checked out Logano, Kyle Busch, Eric Jones. But we're going to try to stick tough with them here in stage 2 now that we got our adjustments in. Also, bad Brad Keselowski and Kurt Busch up there in the top 5 as well. Get a really good restart here as we worked our way up to 6th, and that's what you really want. The track position is key, and still riding that bottom line underneath Keselowski. Kind of get a side draft off of him. See if we can get underneath Logano here as well. Got that wheel turn as it's still really tight, so I have to check up a little. As you can see, Keselowski almost turns me a little, but probably holding him up at this point. Gonna start making a short run car here up to 5th place as we're on lap 16 of 44, but there's only 6-7 laps of stage 2 left. So far, no cautions. Everything's been good and clean race. Worked our way up to 5th, being smart. It's a really consistent setup. As Keselowski is not going anywhere, he is staying right there behind me in 6th. Trying to paint that yellow line. Car's still feeling a little good, but the top 4 has managed to walk away a hair from us, so hopefully Keselowski can get up there and give me a little shove, because Kurt Busch and Kyle Busch, the Busch brothers are out front right now, 1-2, with Eric Jones right there in 4th. Still in 5th with bad Brad Keselowski on my bumper in that number 2 Auto Trader car. Really wanting to push on them right now because it's really hard for me to suck up on these guys. So still trying to be consistent and paint that yellow line without hitting the apron. It's really key here at Atlanta. You want to hold that yellow line. Do not get on the apron. We'll go on board here as we're actually starting to make up a little ground on Eric Jones here for trying to get up there in that top 4. Is getting a little bit of loose off. Is that 3 times wear? That right rear is taking a toll on the right rear. As Keselowski's actually got a run underneath us. We got a caution, first caution of the race. That's going to put us at a green-white checker for the end of stage 2. Let's see what the pit strategy is going to be. I believe I would stay out right now with it only being a green-white checker, with everyone else staying out, but we'll see how it shakes out at the end of stage 2 here as we worked our way up to 5th place. The River Racing Pro Core 52 has been, Ford has been really good tonight. Getting a little better and better. As I said, we'll give you that custom setup here and a Daytona custom setup at the end of the race. We got halfway right now, 22 of 44. If we go back to green, get a really good restart there. See, Joey Logano and them guys have been class of the field all night, and the Busch brothers have been 1-2. So let's see if we can hang with these guys and get a really good stage finish for stage 2. Tires are shot right now, but no one coming to pits to take tires. Track position on the green-white checkers, everything is Logano actually goes high, low, so we're going to make it 3 wide with Logano and Kyle Busch trying to get a second place stage win, coming to the line. We're in third. Oh, we get a third place for stage 2. It's going to be an exciting finish here with 20 to go. I believe 19 laps at the end of stage 3. So we finished 8th in stage 1, up to stage 3rd in stage 2. The Busch brothers, Kyle and Kurt, have been dominant all night. Let's see if we got anything for them here in the final stage, the last 20 laps. I decided to only do 13% races because I didn't want to be too long of a race. I got broadcast for Giggity Racing, my boys, tonight. But I'm going to start doing these videos, and I'm going to be giving you guys my setup and use it as a baseline. You can toss it out. And some of you guys, we're going back to green here. We're actually on the outside road. We pick up a spot on pit road. You see, I'm kind of letting the computer do the camera angles and, ooh, get really tired. If we wouldn't have loosened that thing up, it's starting to come alive now. Because Brendan Gaughan actually stayed out, and we just passed him for the lead. But Kurt Busch is right there on the outside. Got to move up the track to try to block him, but I don't know if that's going to work. Because that opens the door for Logano underneath, so we get back down to the bottom. Trying to hold Logano and Kurt Busch and Brad Keselowski off with about 18 to go of the race. We got the lead for the first time of the race. We worked the way up there. It's not easy to do with this on expert mode and the 102 speed rating. The custom setup, it does help. As Kurt Busch and Logano are right there waiting for me to make a mistake. With 15 to go. The fuel window is not enough fuel. It's going to be a few laps short on fuel because we're running 3 times wear. And actually it's made a mistake and Logano gets by. Kyle Busch looking low. I kind of chopped his nose off and took it from, as I'm just letting the computer alternate camera angles as I commentate. Kurt Busch got a big run up high. I'm trying to get a big run back on the bottom, but it's not working very well as Logano has set his sights for that win. I believe he was top 3 in Daytona race, so he's been strong here early in the 2019 season. Kyle Busch right there on the bumper with Kurt right in front of me. So I was able to lead a few laps, but it seems like these guys... once they get out there in that fresh air, it was hard to really chase them back down, but we're still holding on to third with 12 to go. Trying to draft off Kurt Busch right now. Third place. You see Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch right behind me in 4th and 5th. As I believe we just had another caution. Let's see, I believe, oh, yes we did. Farther back in the field. Let's see. That's going to put us to about 12 to go. So I'm going to go ahead and take fuel and tires right now. It's going to put me back in 17th. Some people took 2. I'm going to take 4. 12 to go. Right now I'm making my way underneath Jimmy Johnson, and I got Denny Hamlin dead ahead. As we got 11 to go. Multiple cars took 2. I took 4, put me back in 17th. This Kyle Larson, I believe, is one of the guys that took 2. As you see, I get a better restart on him. Looking low on Kyle Larson, trying to have to make our way from 16th to the front in 11 laps here. See if we can follow Denny. No, Denny goes a little high, so I'm going to make my way underneath him as I see Chase Elliott and Daniel Suarez dead ahead. Really got my car tuned in now. Got the chassis where I like it, so it's not pushing anymore. Which I will give you all those adjustments that I made at the end of the race, along with the custom setup for the race. 29 1s and 2s. It don't show lap times, unfortunately, but you see we're still making our way up to the front with Kevin Harvick. He's been back here in 10th place all day. Gonna see if we can make our way. It's gonna be a long season, so it's only race number 2. So kind of just trying not to make any enemies at this point. We're looking low on Harvick. You can see Chris Buesser having a good day in the top 10 at 47. That's actually Ryan Preece, as we're actually coming to 8 to go now. And as you can see, them guys that only took 2 tires have really fell off a lot now as I've made my way from 17th to 8th on the restart. Got Boyer there right in front of me. I gotta have to let off a lot for him, as Bad Brad and Kurt, who's been in top 5 all day, is still up here in the front. But Kyle Busch has led the majority of this race, so he's going to be the one to beat. He has been out front the majority of the race, but we're going to see if 4 tires versus 2, if it's going to make a difference here. With 5 to go, we've made our way up to 4th, but no, we have another caution. With 5 to go, another caution, unfortunately. That's going to kill me, because I believe if that wouldn't have happened, I win the race, because I took 4 and they took 2. But we'll see how it shakes out here with 5 to go left at race 2 of the championship expert career mode, with them on 102 is their difficulty. I do not have them all the way up on 105 because they'll just drive out of your life. 3 to go here, so it's 4th place. We still got the better tires. They took 2, we took 4. Restarting on the outside, it's going to be tough though. We got Logano down low with a really good restart. Eric Jones, I have to kind of check up for him as Bowman sticks his nose in there. And now Brad sticks his nose. I get really loose off the corner there and almost take Brad out. That was really, really close. Need to get back down to the bottom and just get the finish we can get, because the right rear is gone at this point with 2 to go. Let's see if we can get a good draft off Bowman. Here's 2 to go at the line with Brad on the outside. We still got a 5th place finish, but Kyle Busch and Logano have been the class of the field all day. Let's see if we can do anything. Me and Eric Jones almost touched. I'm going to go ahead and look low on Bowman, because Brad is there, but I bumped the apron, which is going to give the 2 car underneath me and probably ruin my day as we come to 1 to go at Atlanta. Race 2 in this long championship season. Eric Jones sitting there battling for 5th with Bowman there in 6th. Oh, I really want to get that 3rd place from Brad. Let's see if I can get a good run on him for this last lap. It's going to be tough though, with the tires really waning on 3%. We're coming to lap 44, last turn here. 44th lap, I get a good run on him. Let's see, he gets a good run on the outside. It's going to be a by a nose. Brad Keselowski for 4th place, for 3rd, I mean. So we will take that, guys. 105 speed rating. Let's continue here. Continue, and let's go on to the setup so I can get you guys. All right. So Kyle Busch, actually, I won race 1 at Daytona and get 6th, and we are tied for, well, actually, I got a lead over in the points of race 2. Let's go ahead and get to these setups, guys. Kurt Busch with the fastest lap of a 29.0. Kyle Busch leading the most laps. Really early in the season, like I said. Since I skipped the Daytona race, I will go ahead and give you Atlanta setup first, and then I'll give you all my Daytona setup. May help you, may not. Right. This would be another day, but let me go back here and give you guys these setups. Alright, Atlanta. I'll leave it paused for, let's say, 2 minutes, and then I will go on to the Daytona. But I will probably be doing around 2 races a week, maybe even more. I'm going to try to put out as many as I can, because it's a long season, and I got to build a custom setup for every track. So without a custom setup, you will not be competitive with these guys. So takes a minute to load. Let's go in here. Alright guys, that is my custom setup right there, and I will leave it up for a few minutes. I'll tell you the adjustments that I did make for this race though. It was really tight at the beginning, so the one thing I did on the wedge, I went down from 48.5 to 48.4. But at the same time, I went up on my right front air pressure to 51.25 after stage 1. And that thing, it came alive. I am on a wheel, a T150. And one thing I like to do is my rear end ratio. Some people like to run 307 a little lower. Me, I like having more RPM. But this setup, you have to try both. I'll leave it up for another second. And the tire pressures are pretty much stock. But for the league race, what worked for me was 48.3 on the wedge. And then the tire pressures the way they were, and I went up to 51.25 on the right front. Alright, that is Atlanta. Now let's go to Daytona, the race I wasn't able to broadcast, the first race of the year. Which, when we did the esports at Daytona, it was a really, really good setup, so probably not the best in the game, but a great place to start. I mean, it's 105 speed rating. My best lap, I think, is a 44.7. So I thought about starting the season over to redo the Daytona race to broadcast it like I did Atlanta, to be honest. And then I was like, it was just so tough winning that race with them being on the difficulty that it was on, that I was like, no, I'm just gonna start off from doing this from Atlanta, and I'll give them the Daytona setup. And that'll close down our show after I give you guys a setup. Like I said, this is Roofer Racing. I will be doing more of these. I am part of Giggity Racing also. I race in the Xfinity series right now, but I do announce for the Cup. But here's my Daytona. Really good Daytona. Really fast. This, actually, while I'm here, needs to go all the way to 60. I had not noticed. I haven't done that yet. So while I'm putting them all the way up to 60, I'll leave it up, and that will conclude our broadcast. You guys share this with your friends. Like I said, I'm going to do every track on the schedule. And I'm going to do, I built a custom setup for every track, and I'm giving out the setup at the end of the race of every track. So alright, that's Daytona, guys. Like I said, this is a wheel setup, T150. But a few minor changes. This Daytona should work for you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and like I said, when race 3 starts, tune in. It should be fun.